We ache to have them on our shows. We ache to debate them, but they won't debate us, and they won't come on our shows, and they won't have us on their shows. I have offered tens of thousands of dollars to any left-wing columnist on the New York Times to debate me anywhere they want. They could choose the moderator. They could choose the audience, and serious money.
Joining us now is Dennis Prager, the man you just saw in that video. And Dennis, I guess you could call TYT acetaminophen because we don't want you to ache. We want to make sure we give you an opportunity to feel good.
Dennis Prager was a guest on the Young Turks with Ana Kasparian, where Ana Kasparian debated Dennis Prager after Dennis Prager had said that nobody on the left would debate him. So Ana Kasparian was able to get him on the show, and they did a lengthy debate. It's about 30 minutes long. I'm just going to share a couple of clips here that I thought were really interesting. If you want to see the whole thing, you can go to the Young Turks YouTube channel and watch it in its entirety. But they get into some interesting things about women and whether or not women need men. So let's check this out.
So I want to move on to other statements you've made, other issues. You know, you do focus on culture war related issues, your distaste, hatred for secularism. I want to start off without putting words in your mouth. I'm going to show a video of something you said just yesterday on the Dennis Prager show that I thought was fascinating. So let's take a look at that and we'll discuss.
The computer sticker phenomenon is crazy. It was actually one of the biggest shocks.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
On your computer right here, people, instead of just having a blank back.
Oh, I see. They would have messages.
Yes. It would either
be.
And
what was the common message?
I heart women, or just the female sign, you know, the circle and the arrow.
I heart women on a woman's computer?
Yes.
All of this is proof to me that women need men. These women are manless. They may have hookups, but they're manless. And they might have been fatherless too. Ending with my generation, I would say ending with the baby boomers, but certainly through then, a young woman thought a lot about, do I have a boyfriend? Mm-hmm. What will my wedding be like? What will I wear? Who will be there? Who will the guy be? That I believe is healthy and normal for a young woman. Mm-hmm. It's a good thing. That has been knocked out by the feminist left. And if you think about it, you're a weak female.
So fascinating statements there. You seem to believe that women who love themselves, who love women, who feel confident about being women, tend to be manless and lonely. Do you genuinely think that? Do you think I'm manless and lonely? I think women rock.
I said that in general, women need men, and I've said 1,000 times that in general, men need women. The fact that that's controversial is a statement about what's happened to our culture.
But you got triggered by a story about women who have laptop stickers that just say positive things about women.
Dennis Prager was triggered by a sticker, which is pretty funny. This guy Dennis Prager tries to paint himself, I believe, as an intellectual conservative, and he was triggered by not even triggered by a sticker that he saw. Dennis Prager was triggered by a story about a sticker, as Ana Kasparian says.
Your mind immediately went to, they might have daddy issues and they're lonely, they need men. I want to understand your thinking. Like, okay, how do you get to that conclusion?
It's if you had a heterosexual man, with 97% of men are heterosexual, with a sticker "I love men," you would wonder why. Why don't men have stickers "I love men"? But you think it's perfectly normal and a non-issue that women would have stickers "I love women." What is the point of saying that? It is worthy of a question. And I don't think that 50 years ago this would have been, obviously there were no laptops then, but I don't think it would have been a common sentiment. I don't understand why women would need to announce "I love women" if they're not a gay woman. You tell me, I'm curious. What does that signify?
50 years ago was around the time when the women's rights movement was really heating up. So I imagine this was a sentiment that I love women or I heart women, I imagine was a thing that a lot of women were saying 50 years ago to stand in solidarity with other women fighting for rights.
Well, I mean, listen, as an individual who values free speech and freedom of expression, I think that women and men can have whatever laptop stickers they want. And the reason why there is a difference between men and women in regard to those laptop stickers is because, I mean, when you really think about it, women didn't have the right to vote for a very long time. Women didn't even have the ability to apply for a credit card until the 1970s. There have been equality issues when it comes to men and women. Now, we're getting a lot better, that's for sure. But first of all, I don't agree that women have laptop stickers that just simply say, I love women. It's probably some sort of empowering statement for women, but that doesn't translate to, oh, I'm a lonely, manless person and I should go back to the good old days when women sat around thinking about whether or not they're gonna find a husband and get married. You seem to push your values and your views on relationships onto other people. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is, rather than making generalizations about what's best for women, maybe allow people to live their lives as they see fit, have a belief system as they see fit. Okay. Why do you feel the need to force your beliefs onto other people? Go ahead.
Well, first of all, okay, I don't understand the word force. I mean, the fact that you think that if I offer my opinion, I'm forcing people to adopt it is a bit odd.
You don't believe that America should be secular, so what does that mean?
Wait. Let me finish that point.
Sure, go ahead.
I believe that I have the right, as you do, to offer people thoughts on what might be a better and happier life for them. I've written a book on happiness, which has touched a lot of lives if one wants to read the reviews on Amazon. I believe, again, that in general, of course, every generalization has exceptions. Most women will have a better and happier life with a good man, and most men will have a happier and better life with a good woman. I don't know why that is controversial to state. All I know is that having adopted the view that career is more important than marriage has led to more depressed women than anything that preceded it. There are more young women today depressed than at any time in American history. This is in the New York Times. This is not from a right-wing source. I think feminism has made women more miserable than happy.
So I'm gonna address that in just a second, but I want to address what you said prior to that very quickly. So listen, I don't have a problem with someone saying women are likely to be happier in life if they find a partner to share their life with. I don't think that that's a controversial statement. What is controversial is you seeming to imply that feeling confident or supportive toward women and being happy, single or in a relationship, that it's mutually exclusive. Like, you can't be supportive of women and have a happy life. Like, the weird connection that you tried to make there makes no sense. What was the final thing that you said?
I was speaking about the depression among women in today's time.
That's a great point. And you know what, that's right. There's actually increasing rates of depression and anxiety among men and women. I think that's important to point out. And you are concluding that it's because of, I guess, the breakdown of the traditional family, is that people who remain single.
I think that the belief that many young women have that if they find a man, that's a great thing, but the thing that will really bring them joy in life is career, has misled massive numbers of women into a less happy life. Career is not as terrific as the feminists portrayed it as being. The joy available for most women with a good husband and making a family is incomparably more than from a career.
2 points that I would make to go against what Dennis Prager is saying here is, one, with the careers, I don't know that feminism is saying that a career is better than a family, and that women are just concerned with their careers. You know, young women now are just concerned with their careers and not having a family. I think it's become a necessity for women because there was a time, like Ana Kasparian says here, it wasn't until the 1970s that women could even have credit cards. So you had situations where women were completely reliant on men. A career wasn't even a thought. The man was the breadwinner, and the woman had no choice but to rely on the man. And in some instances, they were perfectly happy. But there were other instances where women had to stay in abusive relationships with men because there was no way for them to go out on their own and make money. And the other point that I would make is, I don't think, this is just my opinion, but I don't agree with Dennis Prager that people are, men and women, as Ana Kasparian is saying, are depressed now because they strive for a career. They've chosen that over family. I think people are depressed because they have to have a career. All of us are trapped in, this cutthroat world of capitalism where we all have to work really hard just to survive. And we have millions of people men and women, who are working very, very hard and basically just scraping by. To me, that's why people are depressed. And, you're one major illness or a car accident or something like that away from losing what little bit that you have in our capitalist system. So to me, that is more of a reason that people are depressed. You have a whole lot of people working jobs that they don't enjoy and they're not fulfilled by, because that's what we all have to do in order to just not be homeless. So to me, that's more of a cause of depression than women are just wanting to climb up the corporate ladder rather than have a husband.
Have you considered some of the economic issues within this country that don't really give women a choice as to whether or not they should focus on a career?
That's a very real issue. I fully acknowledge that. That if you don't have a career to fall back on and there's a divorce, that you're entirely right. That is not the same thing as saying career is going to give you a great deal of meaning and happiness like a marriage will. You're entirely right. Economically speaking, there is value in having a fallback career. I fully acknowledge that.
But I'm going further than that, because.
So to his credit, Dennis Prager does agree with that. But one other point that I would say here is that I grew up thinking wrongly, I believe, that what conservatives like Dennis Prager wanted is for everybody to be left alone. The government isn't going to bother you, and you're able to live the life that you want and be happy the way that you want. Whether that's if you want to be married and have children, if that's what brings you happiness, or if you want to be childless and have cats, if that's what makes you happy. Hey, live your life. As long as you're not harming anybody else, what difference does it make? But as Ana Kasparian is pointing out here, and Dennis Prager pushes back on this, but it does seem like conservatives want to force their views and values on everybody else.
Because the idea that a family can live in a single income household today is laughable. That is incredibly difficult to do. And so while the right wing and you yourself seem to have this idea that, well, women should focus on marriage, they should focus on building a family. First of all, you can't force anyone to do that, right? But let's say you want to encourage women to focus on that. You want to give them the choice, but you want to encourage them. A great way to encourage them is to create an economic system in which people feel comfortable knowing that they can survive on a single income household. I'm talking about when they're married, okay? Both individuals in a marriage have to work in order to be able to pay their rent, pay their mortgage, put food on the table for their children, educate their children. Wages have remained stagnant since the 1970s. Women don't have a choice as to whether or not they can work or whether or not they should just focus on raising children. They don't have the choice. That's the point I'm trying to make.
And I'm going to stop here. If you want to watch the entire video, as I said, it's 30 minutes. It's on the Young Turks YouTube channel, and you can see this debate in its entirety between Ana Kasparian and Dennis Prager. But one more point that I would like to make is, I think also, we have all been sold this kind of Hollywood Disney version of love and marriage and all of that. And there's a whole lot of people out there that don't necessarily ever find the right person. And I think we're all taught that if you don't have that fairy tale romance and marriage and everything, that there's something wrong with you. And I think that's another thing that is depressing for a lot of people, women and men alike, that they try a couple of relationships and it just doesn't work out. But, they're going against society's norms if they don't have a spouse and children by some certain age. I think that makes a lot of people depressed in our society as well today. But what do you think? Do you agree with what Dennis Prager has to say? Do you agree with Ana Kasparian? Who do you think won the debate in this? If you like this content, make sure to comment, give me a like and subscribe. That helps me to grow the channel. The channel's growing quickly, but I want to continue to grow it so I can bring out more content like this. Let me know what you think. This is Chris on Culture. I will see you in the next video.